July 12, 2014, Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandy Lara. One of the most controversial boxing decisions of the decade. Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican superstar. Erislandy Lara, the slick Cuban master boxer. Two styles that couldn't be more different and one decision that split the boxing world in half. Some fans call it one of the biggest robberies in recent boxing history. Others say Lara ran and Canelo clearly won, so who's right? And what does winning actually mean in boxing? In this video, we're going round by round, punch by punch using the official boxing scoring criteria. Clean punching, effective aggression, ring generalship, and defense to find out once and for all who really won Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandy Lara. Round 1. Clean punching. You'll see on your screen now all the punches landed by Canelo Alvarez and Erislandy Lara in round 1. A huge disparity, 19 punches to 2 for Erislandy Lara. And therefore a clean punching, 10-7 Erislandy Lara in round 1. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez was trying to be aggressive, but Erislandy Lara was almost impossible to catch. It was like Erislandy Lara was a figment of Canelo Alvarez's imagination who wasn't actually there. By the time Canelo could close distance, the distance had multiplied again. Erislandy Lara was aggressive in spots, punching precisely and landing voluminously, stopping any aggressive progress that Canelo attempted. Effective aggression, 9.5 points to Erislandy Lara to 8.5 points for Canelo Alvarez. Ring generalship. If I were going to teach someone what ring generalship is, I would show them this round. Erislandy Lara totally controlled the action and tone to such a degree that I'm tempted to give Canelo Alvarez 7 points in this category, which is basically equivalent to him not even being there. Erislandy Lara was nearly impossible to find, both with evasion and even when he was right in front of Canelo Alvarez, based on his other defensive stuff. Canelo's couple attempts to cut off the ring did nothing, and even through Erislandy Lara's defensive mastery, he still landed many brilliant punches, including combinations. Ring generalship, 10-8, Erislandy Lara. Let's talk defense, and on your screen now you can see each defensive maneuver that each fighter did to avoid punches and at what time during the round they happened. Categorizing them, I gave high guard 10-8 to Canelo Alvarez, ducking 9-8 to Erislandy Lara, bobbing and weaving 9 points to both fighters, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking 8-7 Canelo Alvarez, footwork 10-8 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 7 points to both fighters because neither clinched. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gives 9.495 points to Erislandy Lara and 7.862 points to Canelo Alvarez, a blowout margin of victory in round 1 to Erislandy Lara. And as we make our way through the rounds, I'm going to compare my running score in the fight to the running score of the 3 judges at ringside, Levi Martinez, Jerry Roth, and Dave Moretti, all 3 of which gave that round also to Erislandy Lara and have the fight 10-9. Round 2. Clean punching. And as you see on your screen here, Erislandy Lara outlanded Canelo Alvarez cleanly 14 punches to 4 in this round for a running total punch count of 33 in this fight for Erislandy Lara to 6 for Canelo Alvarez. Clean punching, again, 10 points to 7 in favor of Erislandy Lara. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez was moving aggressively forward and determined, but still found it very hard to pin down Erislandy Lara, except for body shots here and there. I haven't seen Canelo Alvarez land a single punch to the head in either round yet. Erislandy Lara was aggressive in spots, more so as the round went on, and much more effective in landing punches, even if not effective in stopping Canelo Alvarez's forward progression. And what's with the flying abdominal stretch maneuver? Effective aggression, 9 points to Canelo Alvarez, 9.5 points to Erislandy Lara. Ring generalship. Canelo Alvarez tried harder, but the result was the same. Erislandy Lara dictated when he was in and out of range, was too elusive when Canelo tried to push the pace, used deceptive movement to make Canelo give up on punch attempts before they started, and dominated action and tone control to the point where it was shocking when Canelo Alvarez actually hit him. Ring generalship, 10-8, Erislandy Lara. Let's talk defense, and again you can see on your screen the times at which each defensive maneuver was done by each fighter to avoid a punch. Categorizing those maneuvers, we have high guard 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, ducking 9-8 Erislandy Lara, bobbing and weaving 10-9 Erislandy Lara, parrying 9-7 Canelo Alvarez, blocking 9-7 Canelo Alvarez, footwork 10-8 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 8-7 Canelo Alvarez. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gives 9.524 points to Erislandy Lara to 8.109 points for Canelo Alvarez, again a blowout round in favor of Erislandy Lara 10-9. I now have the fight 20-18 in favor of Erislandy Lara. Judge at ringside Levi Martinez gave that round to Canelo Alvarez and has the fight a draw 19-19. Not sure how that was possible. It was a very wide round on my score. Jerry Roth and Dave Moretti both gave that round to Erislandy Lara, and they both have the fight 20-18, Erislandy Lara. Round 3. Clean punching. As you can see on your screen here, an immense gap here. 10 clean punches landed for Erislandy Lara, which isn't a huge total, but only 1 for Canelo Alvarez. Clean punching again, 10-7 because of more than triple the punches landed in favor of Erislandy Lara. Effective aggression. There was an accidental headbutt at 1:59 on the clock. Canelo Alvarez was then much more aggressive, moving forward to attack for the whole round, but Erislandy Lara made him almost entirely ineffective with his non-stop movement. Erislandy Lara again had most of his aggressive moments toward the end of the round and was very effective each time, outlanding Canelo Alvarez, as we said, 10-1. Effective aggression, 9 points for Canelo Alvarez to 9.5 points for Erislandy Lara. Ring generalship. At 105 on the clock, Canelo Alvarez threw the most amazing misdirection right hand, followed by a real left hook to the body attempt, and Erislandy Lara still escaped it somehow. Erislandy Lara again is totally controlling action and tone. He stayed away from a very aggressive Canelo Alvarez at will, even making a bullfighter motion when he made Canelo miss very wildly, but he still landed precise punches whenever he wanted to. There were clearly distinct tones that each fighter was trying. Erislandy Lara's is the one that they ended up fighting within, no matter what Canelo Alvarez tried. Ring generalship, 10-8, Erislandy Lara. Let's talk defense. And again, we can see on the screen here each defensive move done by each fighter to avoid punches and at what time in the round they happened, categorizing those movements: high guard 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, ducking 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, bobbing and weaving 10-8 Erislandy Lara, parrying 8-7 Canelo Alvarez, blocking 9-7 Canelo Alvarez, footwork 10-7 Erislandy Lara, clinching 8-7 Canelo Alvarez. And as we take the four scoring criteria together, the algorithm gives Canelo Alvarez 8.081 points and Erislandy Lara 9.495 points. Again, a blowout round in favor of Erislandy Lara, 10-9. Having a look at the running score, I now have the fight 30-27 in favor of Erislandy Lara. Judge Levi Martinez gave that round to Lara and has the fight 29-28 Erislandy Lara. Judge Jerry Roth and Judge Dave Moretti also gave that round to Erislandy Lara, and both have the fight 30-27 Erislandy Lara. Round 4, clean punching. And as you can see on your screen, Canelo Alvarez finally outlanding Erislandy Lara in this round 7 clean punches to 4, and so clean punching 10-9 Canelo Alvarez. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez was more effective in his aggression, especially in the first half of the round. He did a better job of cutting off the ring and shutting down Erislandy Lara's offense until Erislandy Lara became slippery again in the later half of the round. Erislandy Lara was minimally aggressive in this round. Effective aggression, 9.5 points to Canelo Alvarez to only 8 points for Erislandy Lara. Ring generalship. Canelo Alvarez controlled action and tone for just over half the round, and Erislandy Lara controlled them for the remainder of the round. Ring generalship, 9 points to Canelo Alvarez, 8.5 to Erislandy Lara. Let's talk defense. And as you can see on your screen, these are the defensive moves and at what time during the round each fighter did them. We categorize those movements together, and we have high guard 9 points to both fighters, ducking 9 points to both fighters, bobbing and weaving 9 points to both fighters, parrying 9-7 in favor of Canelo, blocking 8-7 Canelo, footwork 10-7 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 8-7 Erislandy Lara. Taking the four scoring criteria together, the algorithm gives 9.290 points to Canelo Alvarez and 8.502 points to Erislandy Lara. A comfortable but not overwhelming win in this round 4 to Canelo Alvarez, 10-9. And I now have the running score 39-37 in favor of Erislandy Lara. All three judges at ringside gave that round to Canelo Alvarez. Levi Martinez has the fight 38-38 a draw. Judge Jerry Roth has it 39-37 Erislandy Lara, and Judge Dave Moretti also has it 39-37 Erislandy Lara. Round 5, clean punching. This one was closer. Erislandy Lara lands 12 clean punches to Canelo Alvarez's 10 clean punches, and therefore clean punching 10-9 Erislandy Lara. Effective aggression. For the first 45 seconds, Erislandy Lara had a good aggressive moment, and Canelo Alvarez was punching at air. Then Canelo Alvarez managed to pin down Erislandy Lara with a couple great body combos and was effectively aggressive for the remainder of the first half of the round when Erislandy Lara became slippery again. Lara was minimally aggressive since Canelo seemed to have somewhat adopted Lara's defense and kept Lara from landing as much. Erislandy Lara then built up his landed punches more in the latter half of the round. Effective aggression, 9.5 points to Canelo Alvarez, 9 to Erislandy Lara. Ring generalship. Canelo Alvarez landed the bulk of his punches in a few spots where he was able to pin down Erislandy Lara, but Erislandy Lara otherwise dominated control of action and tone, staying away from punches and using his own sharp punches to either land or stop Canelo's progress for most of the round. Ring generalship, 9 points to Canelo Alvarez, 10 to Erislandy Lara. And you can now see on your screen all the defensive movements done by each fighter to avoid punches and at what time of the round they happened. Categorizing those defensive movements: high guard 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, ducking 9 points to both fighters, bobbing and weaving 10 points to both fighters, parrying 8 points to both fighters, blocking 9-8 Erislandy Lara, footwork 10-7 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 7 points to both fighters. As we take the four scoring categories together, the algorithm gives 9.019 points to Canelo Alvarez to 9.476 points to Erislandy Lara, a comfortable but not overwhelming lead in this round to Erislandy Lara, 10-9. I now have the fight 49-46 in favor of Erislandy Lara. Judge at ringside Levi Martinez gave the round to Canelo Alvarez and has it 48-47 Canelo Alvarez. Judge Jerry Roth gave the round to Erislandy Lara and has the fight 49-46 in favor of Lara, and Judge Dave Moretti gave the round to Canelo Alvarez and has the fight 48-47 in favor of Erislandy Lara. Round 6, clean punching. A tie. 5 clean punches landed for each fighter in this round, so the other categories are going to matter a lot. Clean punching, 10 points to both fighters. Effective aggression. Erislandy Lara and Canelo Alvarez were both aggressive in the first half of the round, Lara a bit more effective. In the second half of the round, Erislandy Lara was evasive, frustrating Canelo to the point where with 16 seconds left on the clock, Canelo Alvarez was literally running after Erislandy Lara trying to pin him down to land punches and still missed 4 of them. Effective aggression, 9 points Canelo Alvarez, 9.5 to Erislandy Lara. Ring generalship. Erislandy Lara controlled more of the action and tone despite despite Canelo Alvarez's most skilled and aggressive efforts, he used evasion, aggressiveness, and clinching to stop Canelo's progress. Ring generalship, 9 points Canelo Alvarez, 10 points Erislandy Lara. Let's talk defense, and you can see each defensive maneuver and at what time it happened throughout the round by each fighter, categorizing those moves: high guard 10-9 Canelo Alvarez, ducking 9-8 Canelo Alvarez, bobbing and weaving 9 points to both fighters, parrying 8 points to both fighters, blocking 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, footwork 10-7 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 8 points to both fighters. Taking the 4 scoring categories together, the algorithm gives 9.243 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.581 points to Erislandy Lara. A 10-9 round for Erislandy Lara. I now have the fight 59-55 in favor of Erislandy Lara. Judge Levi Martinez gave the round 10-9 to Canelo Alvarez and has the fight 58-56. Judges Jerry Roth and Dave Moretti both gave that round to Erislandy Lara. Judge Roth has it 59-55, Erislandy Lara, and Judge Dave Moretti has it 58-56, Erislandy Lara. Round 7, clean punching. A big disparity in this one. Erislandy Lara lands 13 clean punches to Canelo Alvarez's 4. Clean punching, 10-7, Erislandy Lara. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez landed a left hook to the back that doesn't count and had a bunch of punches that looked like they might have landed, but they did not land cleanly in slow motion. Both fighters had punches blocked by camera angles, so I didn't have enough evidence to award those. Effective aggression, 9.5 points to both fighters. Ring generalship. I think many people believe a fighter needs to hurt another fighter to win a round. No official scoring criteria says that. Hurting is only a vehicle for knockdowns, and those aren't required to win a round or a fight either. Erislandy Lara knows how to score clean punches even if they aren't hard. While Canelo Alvarez was trying so hard to pin him down and punch hard when he got there, Erislandy Lara was making him miss and landing many more punches. He had a bloody eye, but that isn't a scoring criterion either. Ring generalship, 9 points to Canelo Alvarez, 9.5 points to Erislandy Lara. Let's talk defense, and you can see all the defensive moves and at what time in the round each was done by each fighter, categorizing those defensive moves: high guard 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, ducking 10-9 Erislandy Lara, bobbing and weaving 9 points to both fighters, parrying 8-7 Canelo Alvarez, blocking 8-7 Canelo Alvarez, footwork 10-7 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 8-7 Erislandy Lara. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, we have 8.390 points in the algorithm to Canelo Alvarez and 9.436 points to Erislandy Lara. A fairly comfortable margin of victory in this round to Erislandy Lara. So I now have the fight 69-64 Erislandy Lara. Judge Levi Martinez gave that round to Canelo Alvarez and has the fight 68-65 Canelo Alvarez. Judges Jerry Roth and Dave Moretti also gave that round to Canelo Alvarez. Judge Roth has it 68-65 Erislandy Lara, and Judge Moretti has it 67-66 Erislandy Lara. Round 8, clean punching. Close in this round, 9 clean punches landed for Canelo Alvarez to 8 clean punches landed for Erislandy Lara. If we actually look at the running total, the disparity is starting to get large in Erislandy Lara's favor. He's landed 85 clean punches to Canelo Alvarez's 42. Cumulative punches don't matter for scoring, but it's just an interesting statistic to take a look at. Clean punching, 10-9, Canelo Alvarez. Effective aggression. Accidental headbutt by Erislandy Lara rising up from the clinch at 33 seconds. Canelo Alvarez was aggressive with forward movement, trying to close the distance for 2/3 of the round, but Erislandy Lara stopped his forward progression multiple times with sharp punching on the move, whether or not they landed. You could see Canelo adapting his style throughout this round, though. Effective aggression, 9.5 points to both fighters. Ring generalship. This round had the sense, like many previous ones, that Erislandy Lara controlled the action by punching whenever he wanted, as opposed to Canelo Alvarez, who only punched when Erislandy Lara gave him an opportunity. Tone is tough because Canelo Alvarez pressed the action for 2/3 of the round, even though he was cautious when he got close, but Erislandy Lara was counterpunching effectively and seemed comfortable with this tone, like it was his plan all along. I would probably give tone control to both. Ring generalship, 9.5 points to Canelo Alvarez, 10 to Erislandy Lara. Let's talk defense, and you can see on your screen again the defensive moves that were done to avoid punches in this round and the time at which each was done. Categorizing those defensive moves: high guard blocking, 9-8 Erislandy Lara, ducking 8 points to both fighters, bobbing and weaving 10-9 Erislandy Lara, parrying 8-7 Erislandy Lara, blocking 8 points to both fighters, footwork 10-8 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 8 points to both fighters. As we take the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gives 9.350 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.309 points to Erislandy Lara, a razor-thin margin of victory in round 8 in favor of Canelo Alvarez, 10-9. And I now have the fight 78-74 in favor of Erislandy Lara. Judge Levi Martinez gave the round to Canelo Alvarez and has the fight 78-74 Canelo Alvarez. Judge Jerry Roth gave the round to Canelo Alvarez as well and has the fight 77-75 Erislandy Lara. And Judge Dave Moretti gave the round to Canelo Alvarez and has the fight 76-76, a draw. Round 9, clean punching. Close in this round as well. 15 clean punches landed for Canelo Alvarez to 13 clean punches landed for Erislandy Lara. The cumulative total at this point, 57 punches for Canelo Alvarez to 98 punches for Erislandy Lara. Clean punching, 10-9, Canelo Alvarez. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez's left hook at 206 looked too far backward on the back to be legal, so I'm not counting it, although I won't say it was intentional because Erislandy Lara was moving away at the time. Canelo Alvarez was more aggressive and more effective than Erislandy Lara, who stood in front of Canelo more for a bit until he decided to start sticking and moving again. Effective aggression, 10 points to Canelo Alvarez, 9 to Erislandy Lara. Ring generalship. Erislandy Lara's foot slipped out of the ring at 26 seconds as he was moving away, making it look like he went down, but there was no punch. He also wiped his eye on several occasions, which may have altered his game plan. Other than that, Canelo Alvarez was able to land more hard body shots in this round, punch more cleanly while missing less, and I think the telling attribute of his controlling action and tone is that Erislandy Lara did try to stand in front of Canelo Alvarez, but Canelo made him start moving again with the quality of his attack in this round. Ring generalship, 10 points Canelo Alvarez, 9 points Erislandy Lara. Let's talk defense, and as you can see on your screen, these are all the defensive moves and the times that each was done by each fighter to avoid punches. Categorizing them, we have high guard blocking 10-9 Canelo Alvarez, ducking 9-7 Canelo Alvarez, bobbing and weaving 9 points to both fighters, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking 9-8 Canelo Alvarez, footwork 10-7 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 8-7 Erislandy Lara. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, it's 9.657 points for Canelo Alvarez to 8.857 points to Erislandy Lara. A comfortable but not overwhelming win in this round, 10-9 Canelo Alvarez. So I now have the fight 87-84 in favor of Erislandy Lara. All 3 judges at ringside gave that round to Canelo Alvarez. Judge Levi Martinez has the fight 88-83 Canelo Alvarez. Judge Jerry Roth has it 86-85 Erislandy Lara. And Judge Dave Moretti has it 86-85 Canelo Alvarez. Round 10, clean punching. A huge disparity here again. Erislandy Lara lands 13 clean punches to 1 clean punch landed for Canelo Alvarez. Clean punching 10-7 Erislandy Lara. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez had an opening for a clean left hook to the body at 154, but he used that hand to grab and clinch instead. He also had a flurry of 4 body punches, some obscured by the camera, but the ones I could see were blocked by Lara's tight guard. Canelo also punched almost all the way there, but not quite there at 57 seconds on the clock, outdone by Erislandy Lara's longer reach. So a few could-have-beens for Canelo. Erislandy Lara was aggressive in many spots and totally effective, and balanced this with brilliant movement and blocking. Canelo Alvarez tried to be aggressive, but was made to be almost totally ineffective by Erislandy Lara in this round. Effective aggression, 8.5 points for Canelo Alvarez to 9.5 points for Erislandy Lara. Ring generalship. A left hook by Canelo to the back that looked avoidable at 42 seconds after so many punches that barely missed. I would give a warning for this. Other than that, Erislandy Lara totally controlled action and tone throughout the round, moving and blocking brilliantly to make it almost impossible for Canelo Alvarez to land anything clean while landing plenty of his own clean punches, including a few jabs when Canelo seemed to think the exchange was over. Ring generalship, Erislandy Lara 10, Canelo Alvarez 8. Let's talk defense, and you can see all the defensive moves done to avoid punches by both fighters and when they happened on your screen here. Categorizing them together, high guard blocking 10-9 Canelo Alvarez, ducking 9 points to both fighters, bobbing and weaving 10-8 Erislandy Lara, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking 9 points to both fighters, footwork 10-7 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 8 points to both fighters. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, it's a huge margin of victory here for Erislandy Lara 10-9. The algorithm gave him 9.638 points to only 7.890 points for Canelo Alvarez. So taking a look at the running score, I now have the fight 97-93 in favor of Erislandy Lara. Judge Levi Martinez gave that round to Canelo Alvarez somehow and has the fight 98-92. I don't know what Judge Martinez was looking at there. It was a plain and wide round for Erislandy Lara. Judge Jerry Roth and Judge Dave Moretti both gave that round to Erislandy Lara correctly. Judge Roth has it 96-94 Erislandy Lara, and Judge Moretti has it 95-95, a draw. Round 11, clean punching. In this round, another tie. 7 clean punches landed by either fighter, and so both fighters get 10 points for clean punching. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez had a left hook to the body obscured by the camera at 145, but the referee warned him for being low. Canelo Alvarez had a left hook to the kidney again near the end of the round. I would give a hard warning for this since it's a second offense. Canelo Alvarez was aggressive for most of the round and effective in spots. Erislandy Lara had more aggressive bursts in the first half of the round and moved more in the second half of the round. He was effective when he was aggressive, though. Effective aggression, 9.5 points to both fighters. Ring generalship. Both fighters controlled tone at different portions of the round, although Canelo did a little of it with illegal blows. Action was controlled more by Erislandy Lara, who escaped many of Canelo Alvarez's attacks and delivered sharp punches when he wished. Ring generalship, 9.5 points to Canelo Alvarez, 10 points to Erislandy Lara. Let's talk defense, and you can see once again on your screen in this round all of the defensive moves done to avoid punches and when they happened. And if we categorize them together, the high guard blocking 10-9 Canelo Alvarez, ducking 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, bobbing and weaving 9-8 Canelo Alvarez, parrying 8-7 Canelo Alvarez, blocking 7 points to both fighters, footwork 10-7 Erislandy Lara, and clinching 8 points to both fighters. If we take the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm spits out a very, very razor-thin margin of victory in round 11 for Erislandy Lara 10-9, based on a 9.495 algorithm score to 9.436 for Canelo Alvarez. And so I have the running score as 107-102 in favor of Erislandy Lara. Judge Levi Martinez gave that close round 10-9 to Canelo Alvarez, which could be understandable. He has the fight 108-101. Judge Dave Moretti gave that round to Erislandy Lara and has the fight 106-103 Lara. And Judge Dave Moretti also gave the round to Canelo Alvarez 10-9 and has the fight 105-104 Canelo Alvarez. The 12th and final round. Yay!
ROBBERY!
Clean punching. Canelo Alvarez lands 8 clean punches in this round, and Erislandy Lara lands 15 clean punches. He really does the business in the last round for clean punching. 10-9, Erislandy Lara. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez had a left hook to the back at 234. Accidental because he had his head down, but then another one at 232. I would give a hard warning for this one. Another accidental one at 116. A low blow by Canelo at 16 seconds. I would give a hard warning to this given the other infractions. Canelo Alvarez was moving solidly forward and aggressive for most of the whole round. He was very effective because Erislandy Lara clinched to slow him down multiple times. Erislandy Lara was aggressive in spots between moving, but there were a lot of spots, which is why he landed almost twice as many clean punches. Effective aggression, 10 points to Canelo Alvarez, 9.5 Erislandy Lara. Ring generalship. Canelo Alvarez threw a bunch of uppercuts and hooks trying to break through Erislandy Lara's tight high guard around 210, but the camera angle provided no evidence that any of them got through. Overall, they fought more in Canelo's aggressive tone, but Erislandy Lara used movement, crisp punching, and clinching to edge out control of the action, nullifying, with skill, a lot of what Canelo was trying to accomplish by trying harder than he was before. Canelo Alvarez is resilient and the tougher of the two, but much of this fight has come down to Erislandy Lara's impeccable timing. Ring generalship, 9.5 points to both fighters. Let's talk defense, and you can see the defensive moves to avoid punches throughout this round and when they happened. Categorizing them, the high guard, 10-9 Erislandy Lara, ducking, 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, bobbing and weaving, 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, parrying, 7 points to both fighters, blocking, 8-7 Canelo Alvarez, footwork, 10-7 Erislandy Lara, and clinching, 9-7 Erislandy Lara. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, another very close round, but 9.436 points to Erislandy Lara, 9.240 points for Canelo Alvarez, 10-9 in the final round, Erislandy Lara. And now the time has come that you've all been waiting for, the answer to the question, who really won Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandy Lara? And the answer is... this could actually be considered a robbery. Erislandy Lara should have won 117 to 111. Let's have a look at what the 3 judges at ringside said and how that compares to my score. So again, I have the fight Erislandy Lara 117, Canelo Alvarez 111. Judge at ringside Levi Martinez gave that last round to Erislandy Lara and ended up with 117-111 the other way for Canelo Alvarez. Judge Jerry Roth and Judge Dave Moretti both had the last round for Canelo Alvarez. Judge Jerry Roth ended up with 115-113 Erislandy Lara, and Judge Dave Moretti ended up with 115-113 for Canelo Alvarez. We can have a look at a few other interesting totals at the bottom of the screen here. The maximum number of punches landed by Canelo Alvarez in any round, 15. Erislandy Lara, 19. The minimum for Canelo Alvarez, he actually had a round with only 1 clean punch landed. The minimum for Erislandy, 4. Average punches landed throughout all the rounds for Canelo Alvarez, only 6. For Erislandy Lara, 11. And the total punches landed throughout the fight that I could see, 73 for Canelo Alvarez to 133 for Erislandy Lara. Of course, some obscured by camera angles, but that would not be enough to reverse who landed more punches. And so I typically give out awards to the judges who got it right, but none of these judges were anywhere close. However, let's say this, some of those rounds were very close. Let's have a look at which ones of those they were, and I did tweak my algorithm a bit since recording the previous round, so these are the thresholds that I think we should be using for close rounds, comfortable rounds, and blowout rounds. I felt that rounds 1 and 2 were blowouts in favor of Erislandy Lara. Round 3, blowout in favor of Erislandy Lara. Round 4, Canelo Alvarez by a comfortable margin. Rounds 5 and 6, very close rounds, but not razor-thin close rounds. Round 7, a wide margin of victory for Erislandy Lara. Round 8, a razor-close round that I gave to Canelo Alvarez. Round 9, a comfortable win for Canelo Alvarez on my card. Round 10, a blowout round in favor of Erislandy Lara. I can't see it any other way. Round 11, a razor-thin win for Erislandy Lara on my card. And then round 12, a close but not razor-thin win for Erislandy Lara on my card. So that being said, rounds 8 and 11 would qualify as questionable on my card. And if they went the other way, instead of 117-111, we would be at 115-113 and still in favor of Erislandy Lara. And now you know who really won Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandy Lara. Was it a robbery? You be the judge. I think kinda yes. So after scoring this fight round by round using the official boxing judging criteria, clean punching, effective aggression, ring generalship, and defense, we've got our answer to who really won Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandy Lara. If you love breaking down controversial boxing decisions and finding out the truth, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the next fight we judge the right way. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown. It helps more boxing fans find videos like this. And if you're ready for another deep dive, just click right here on the screen to watch my other Who Really Won breakdown of controversial fights. Or check out my complete guide on how to score a boxing match the right way. This is Who Really Won. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next round.